button. The button is go live.
Oh, good. Everybody gets to see all my toys. Good.
Yeah, and that it's fucking Starlink figure too.
Oh, that thing's
Got to get rid of the labeling here.
Yeah.
I know where you live, Morgan.
No, he moved out of that apartment. Anyway, we're back. We've been away by like 16 days.
Is
So
this any better? Is this any better?
it's somehow worse. So just a quick bit of refresher for what happened last time. Morgan, stop Vanna Whiting your collectibles.
I'm sorry. They're just right there.
Last time around, you guys wrapped up kind of the post-abyssal time. Armil and Trev went and hung out in the Great Forest for a little bit. Just sort of hung out. Nothing really important happened there. Just hanging out.
Yeah.
Phaedra did some studying and played the nerd that she do. Marleman continued his love affairs of love. I couldn't think of a better way to phrase that. And Nyx had some crises.
And personal traumas. Yeah.
Yeah. Prompted by some information about where Nyx comes from, a gnomish village called Hasper, and word from your Rakshasa friend that a blue dragon of some kind, large in ancientness, yet to be determined, has taken control of that area. You have all decided to head there to go and help liberate. After bartering some information from some poor, hapless teleportation worker, you all stepped into the teleportation circle and arrived in a dusty, crate-filled room in the basin of somewhere. You were attempting to travel to the city of Break. Upon arrival, you all got your bearings for about a second before the door opened, and a woman was there shouting at you, holding a spear.
good.
Oh, that's right.
We'll pick up from there.
I have a question about the size of ceilings and stuff for my
Sure.
friends.
Sure. Break is the human city, so it's still average.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
So we went to the human city first.
Yes, and you guys were going to walk from there or transport from there or something from there to Hasper.
Good.
Sai, apologies, I also forgot to mention, Sai continued his dealings with a hag.
Oh, God.
Yes, it did.
Gary added the ticker. Gary added the ticker.
I did add a ticker. So, to describe a little bit more what you see right now, the woman standing in front of you, gesturing with a spear threateningly and shouting for assistance, is wearing a set of bronze armor with a loose, ragged leather kilt that looks like it operates as some sort of armor or the rest of this uniform. The helmet adorning her head is relatively simple with a nose piece down the sides, and a long flowing, what looks like horse hair has been weaved into the back of this helmet as well. She wears no insignias and no insignias of her rank. She looks like she was relatively newly conscripted. While you're all taking that in, she was standing there gesturing at you, going, "Why are you here? How did you get here? Go away!"
Okay, calm
It's
down.
okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Just magic.
This with help, and she turns around and yells back down the corridor for more help, and you can hear vaguely the sound of not many, but a few footsteps coming your way.
I press to digitate white flags over our heads.
Okay, you press to digitate white flags, but instead of white flags, you get a bunch of bleeding skulls that tumbles out of air and crumbles into the ground.
Yes.
Why?
From a wild magic surge a while ago.
I mean, we were waiting for that one for like at least 3 games.
Yep.
Can you press the digitation anymore?
No, he
no,
can. He just
I
couldn't
can.
do it this once. And as such,
I take it back.
as you, as she looks at this, screams bloody murder
Oh, shit.
and just runs
Yeah, I fucked
out
it
the
up,
door
everybody.
and down the hallway.
Right.
So,
Did anybody else see that guy that dropped these heads here? He went that way.
It's worth noting the head's still there.
Okay.
and there's still people coming down the hall.
At this
Well,
point,
can
looking
you
for
take
somewhere where he can just push that, get him out of the room. Like,
You're like,
Can I squish them? Can I just start stomping on them?
Who's got
Sure,
the bad-
Phaedra, you stomp these skulls into ooze,
Why?
coating your boots and lower shins in ichor.
Fine. Just take
Well,
it.
this has gone to
Everyone's
hell.
sitting around it, like myself, who is horridly trying to push to make skulls disappear.
Yep.
Like,
And-
why?
and
I'm
Phaedra-
sorry, they're not skulls. They're severed heads.
Yeah,
I believe.
severed heads.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay, never mind. I wouldn't
Even
have
better.
squished them if they were at like
Too
I
late,
Okay,
too
my
late.
bad.
You did it. You did it.
No,
I
no, you didn't know they were heads. You thought they were skulls. It's fine.
thought they were skulls.
Yeah, no,
This
it's
is-
fine.
I just walk out the door after the girl calmly, just
Okay.
shaking my head.
Well,
Just like,
Yeah.
I'll have a
I
son.
would die.
Yes.
You
I'll
got
do
it.
Don't do that.
Okay, you all calmly walk out of the door with your hands in the air, attempting to look as peaceful as humanly possible.
Marlon
Um,
prestidigitates once again, but just puts sunglasses on to make him look like somebody who's not actually the person that did that.
Okay, you do so. They just sort of float in front of your face. They don't actually sit on your
I
nose.
imagine they're like Morpheus from the Matrix. They kind of just
Yeah, they're digitally added for sure. It kind of looks like the Green Lantern mask from that bad Ryan Reynolds movie. And as you make your way down the hallway, you see about 5 other guards, not running, fast walking. They're not. They didn't think there was a problem. They thought something had just gone odd. And you see this woman running away from you. She has thrown her spear to the side of the hallway, has her hands in the air, and is just shouting, "I didn't sign up for this. I didn't ask for this. Someone else deal with this. I'm done." And just bolts past these 5 other guards who also just sort of look at her and then look back at you guys and kind of
so
stop.
point to the closest one, and I
Mhm.
just yell in the most commanding voice I can. You, where is your superior?
Why? Why?
Make an
this is not
intimidation
what we
check,
want.
Si.
Trust
not
me.
This is awesome.
Trust me.
I
You guys are doing fucking
Victor's in
great.
the middle of just trying to get the papers out that she had them
Yeah.
Okay.
last
You're
time.
like scrushing through stuff. Like, oh god.
It's going to be good. I rolled a 19 plus
Okay.
a huge bonus.
Hooray!
Just by the plus your peacekeeper bonus, right? Because he's
Oh
currently.
yeah, that was
achieved.
just a natural roll. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, but yes.
So the first guard, the one that is wearing insignias, the rest of them are dressed relatively plainly in armor, as the last guard you saw. This one kind of like stops and is taken aback by your tone for a second, then responds with, upstairs?
Take us to him.
Who are you? No one's supposed to be down here.
Have the teleportation sigils been locked out for some reason?
There is a genuine feeling of confusion through the entire room when you say the words teleportation sigil.
That is how we got here, right? This is just Heather remembering how we got
Yeah.
here.
Oh,
yeah.
you're right.
Okay.
This is why I wanted somebody who like knew what they were doing.
Okay. Like that
You
magic
just sort of listen, and goes,
to another.
I'm not. Follow me, and he like turns on his
there
heel
we
and
go.
starts walking. The other 4 kind of press against the walls as he goes, very clearly attempting to get behind you guys.
Uh-huh.
Just walk by without looking at them. Just
Okay.
act like we belong.
Okay.
we belong here.
Thank you, Marlon.
One of them.
Definitely don't go in that other room.
You can hear one of them whispering under, or actually, Aramil, you'd be really the one who's able to hear this. You hear one of them whispering under his breath, "This is really fucking weird," and another one of them just kind of nudge him in the side and go, "Shut up." You all make your way upstairs.
Wait, yeah, I say it's chill, man. Like we're cool, relax.
It definitely doesn't put them at ease.
The skulls and the imposing man didn't do enough.
You all head upstairs. This guard leaves you upstairs into the top floor of what looks like a warehouse or a shipping and receiving kind of building. It's a log building as well. There's not a lot of stonework that you can see here, besides the actual foundations of what you're walking on. You make your way upstairs. You make your way out of this the market, or this, I should say, this warehouse building, and for some of you, you get your first glimpses of the city of Break. It is a city built into the side of a relatively large hill. Basically, you can kind of you guys are on the second highest of the turrets. Just for shorthand, it is very Norse. So it's a lot of single level log buildings for the most part, a lot of wood, a lot of straw. The streets aren't particularly paved. And the thing that Marleman, you've never been here before. Phaedra, you may have at some point. Trev, you certainly have not. The first things that really jump out to you guys is that there is a severe lack of magic in the air. Almost as if the kind of everything about this city is very martial and brutalist, including just a very distinct lack of magic. It is also cold. It is incredibly cold. It is lightly snowing. The sky is very overcast. There are some kind of piles of mud-ridden stone or snow kind of throughout the sides of this muddy street. And the guard kind of leads you to a building immediately across the way, which looks like a small guard shack. You're led inside, and there is an individual sitting there. They're dressed relatively nicely compared to what you saw. Kind of more put together bronze armor, a similar kilt sort of situation. Their helmet is not bronze like the ones that you've seen. Their helmet is made of a much lighter material. It looks like either a light iron or a kind of weak steel. And the individual looks up at you and says, "We did not expect guests today. Who are you and how did you get here?"
The teleportation that you have and is also in Dresselheim.
Yeah, we teleported here from Jerusalem.
None of you are dwarves?
Nope.
No.
We're friends of the dwarves.
Yeah.
Friends of the dwarves have no place here in Break, so how
Did
can I very quickly...
Did I say friends? I meant that they have horribly characterized us. Here, look, here's a comic book of what they think of us.
Okay, you pull out a comic book and attempt to hand it to this person, and they just sort of look at you very oddly.
Oh no. Okay.
Wait, who were we sent here to meet with?
Not necessarily to meet
Someone
with
we
anyone.
could have talked to.
We're
This is
trying.
This is the closest city nearest to
We
where
didn't want to go directly
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
the captured city.
yeah.
Man.
We wanted to see if we could get assistance.
Right,
Yeah.
but
Right.
someone
Right.
here we could have talked to.
Yes.
Marlman just happened to have a teleportation circle, or we got one for this city, which is the closest city to.
So, two of the things on that. One, we did come here to investigate some weirdness, either political or something else that's stirring, that was causing trouble. And also how to get help for taking down the Blue Dragon.
Correct.
Also, I have a contact in the city
Yeah.
Right,
that
you're
I'm
friends we're looking for.
supposed to be meeting up with that could also potentially help us.
Yes.
So I believe, Gary, help me out with this. Like,
Mm.
there were two factions in the city, and one doesn't like Drisselheim, the others we don't know, and we were trying to find the other one.
It's more that the forces within the city or the ruling classes in the city have stopped communicating with their allies. And those that or the communications that have come through have not been overly hostile, but have been very standoffish.
Very Gondor doesn't like Rohan sort of thing.
Exactly, kind of. But
That's
more
very good.
Gondor doesn't like literally anybody else.
Fair enough.
And
Okay.
also true.
We were unfamiliar. Are we not allowed to make use of the teleportation circles? We were unaware.
All of the teleportation circles have been under lock and key and not to be used by any individual.
We apologize.
We
We
didn't
were
know
unaware.
the other end.
We were unaware of that.
Did not tell us that when we left.
Yes.
Our apologies.
We are in the middle of an aid mission. So that was our main priority. And we're looking for someone in the city.
Make a persuasion check, Phaedra.
Sure. Sorry, I have to pull up my character sheet. 16.
Okay. He sort of stops and kind of surveys the room. And you can see a little bit behind their eyes that they're weighing the situation. They see how well armed you are and how relatively strong you all look. And they respond with, very well. I suppose first-time infractions can be forgiven for this purpose. Please find whoever you're looking for within the city and make your way out of the city gates by sundown, and there shall be no issue from the marshal's office.
I remember. Who was it that we? Who was it we got the letters of introduction from again?
So the Council of Jerselheim wrote a letter of introduction to the Jarl here. They were very hesitant to do so. And they responded with, "This might help. It probably won't, but if you insist."
Okay.
I'll show them the letter, and I will.
Hang on.
I'll say
I don't know if we should show
Yeah.
the letter at this point.
I'm not I'm just saying I'll pass that information along because we were.
Can we not show them the letter though? Can we not do that?
All right.
Like,
all right. I'll just be
they literally, when we said we came from Jerselheim, said that any friend of the dwarves is no friend of ours. So maybe we shouldn't give them our friend letter from the dwarves.
Yeah, that seems like exactly the opposite of what we should
Okay.
do.
I'll tell you what.
Pass the message on. We were unfamiliar. We didn't know.
Yeah.
Let's
And he seems to have accepted that.
Okay.
let's go find my contact and get a lay of the land.
Let's leave this guy for now. I don't
Yeah.
want to push his buttons right now.
The fuck
Yeah.
outta here.
And I have been here. I know my way around
Oh,
the
you
city, right?
lived here,
Okay.
yes. You're
Yeah,
very
so-
familiar.
All right, so without even we'll just get the hell out of here. Let's go.
Okay.
Uh,
they sort of nod, and another guard opens the door.
Thank you.
And I pause as I pass one of the guards, and I just say, "You're a conscript, aren't you?"
There's a beat, and then the captain responds with, "Most of us are now."
And I just walk out.
Conscript is drafted, right?
Yeah,
I was gonna say, what's that mean?
Yeah.
conscript is somebody
I
who
was
was
pretty sure I knew what it meant, but I wanted to check out.
Okay.
this isn't their choice. They're not doing this.
They were drafted
Yeah,
into
they
the
just conscripted, yeah.
Okay.
On the way out, I just want to tap that guy on the shoulder and be like, "See you, buddy. Have fun."
Oh.
The one you were just talking to, or the guard by the door?
The guard by the door that I talked to, just on
Okay.
the way out.
Okay.
What a
Um,
bro.
You do so, and the dude flinches a bit, but he doesn't do anything. As the door is swinging shut behind you, you do hear the muffled sounds of conversation. Can't really pick up what they're saying, but something is getting discussed within there. Sai leads you through the city. It is so drastically different from any other city you've been in. It's almost shocking. You saw Lothander at its absolute worst, but it was still a city of splendor, of opulence, of strength, of unity. And this is just not that. This is brutalist and just ugly to the eye. It's very clearly run by people who don't really care much for that sort of thing. Or at the very least have, well, I won't say that part. You all make your way through the city, through some of the neighborhoods, and you pass what very quickly presents themselves as a lot of abandoned buildings, or a lot of buildings that have been, or a lot of families that have very clearly been shoved together within multiple buildings. A lot of buildings stand empty, The larger buildings seem to have 5, maybe 6 families living within them. Life is hard here in Break right now. Even in prime material time, the year and a half ago that you were last here, it wasn't like this. Sure, the crop was starting to die and wealth wasn't coming into the city quite as much as it was, but this is extreme even for that. Something very clearly has changed. And as you make your way through what used to be the artisans district, now it's very clearly could just be labeled as a blacksmithing or forge district. There is no art. There's no kind of home goods for sale. Everything has been converted into essentially an armor factory of a district.
Oh, but I really wanted to go to Fantasy Pure Imports.
I was going to say, we could just go to Home Goods, which is a store that exists.
And as you make your way back towards where your old forge sat, you see less and less faces that you recognize, even from the buildings around. Everyone is much either younger or just new. Before too long, you make your way towards the front of your old home, the one that you shared with your master. The windows are dark. There does not seem to be anyone home currently.
Now, I'm assuming I retained residence at this place because I have places in multiple cities and multiple planes. Like,
sure, a year and a half is not the longest you have been gone.
Right. Okay.
Is this how it was when you were here last time, Sai? Because
No.
I assume we wouldn't know this.
No.
Let's get inside and we'll discuss it. And this is where we're supposed to meet my contact, right?
Yeah.
Or at least, okay. So yeah, I'll usher people inside.
Okay. Doors open, same key, same lock as it used to be. And everything inside is relatively untouched, if a little more barren. Looks like some things may have been sold, some goods just to make ends meet. The forge sits cold, but there are still some raw materials about. More importantly, the fireplace sits cold, very cold. No one's been here for a bit. There's a good layer of dust on just about everything, and a general sense of mildew in the air.
Okay. Build up a fire and pull out a chair and say, all right, no. To answer your question, the city's always kind of been a hard place for hard people. But
You couldn't help me get some, could you?
it wasn't like this.
I'll be
Sorry, did you hear that?
No, it's okay. Dom needs help getting into his Witcher cosplay.
Fucking awesome.
We better say yes.
That's the new episode he's working on.
Can't get the
No
shit.
shit. You didn't need to tell us that part.
The response would have been different, I think.
The fact that you felt the need to say that says more than anything else.
So anyway, we'll pick her, or we'll get her, back in.
Yeah.
So I think Sai's contact maybe might be able to answer this more, but I do want to, if Sai knows, I can ask him and we can see if it's possible.
Yeah, go ahead.
But just like why it might be that, is it pronounced like break? Like break,
yeah.
Stick in half? Okay. So why break might have like animosity with the dwarves? Because clearly they did not used to, because they built these teleportation like portals to each other. So they must have been fine, but like.
I mean, my understanding of the teleportation circles is that they were used to facilitate communication, trade. They're built everywhere. But yeah, they used to be an ally. I've never been much in the politics here, but last time I was here, they were, obviously two rival nations, but they weren't. There was no animosity. There was no, and Break certainly wasn't on the edge of war like it is now. So
when we get your friend here, he might be able to shed a little more
Any idea
Yeah.
light on it.
Sorry, you just said the edge of war. Do you think with the dwarves or like with anyone in particular? The dragon, maybe?
That I have to assume the dragon. I mean,
But I
it'd be.
when we discussed, I don't remember
My assumption.
exactly. I thought they were saying that I remember who now. I can't remember the details. Personal memory, I can't remember the details. But I feel like when we were talking with someone about this situation, they were saying that Break like knew of it but was actively not assisting.
They were actively not taking assistance. Drisselheim was aware of the dragon situation. They had heard of it.
Right. And so
and they had offered assistance as an ally would, and they were less than gently rebuffed.
Oh.
yeah.
I'm going to take a wild guess here and say that they were wronged by someone who was friends with them, perhaps, and also magic.
Well,
I don't understand.
I should say, and this is me speaking in Sai's voice, the lack of magic in this city has been a forever thing.
So that was something I was going to ask. Like,
Is magic
yeah,
legal?
no, I don't think so.
Not illegal, just observed, watched.
Yeah, and there's, yeah, like these are very straightforward, very simple people. Like what they can feel, what they can touch, what they can eat.
Sai, make a history check for me.
Cool.
It's not a particularly hard DC, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
14.
I don't know.
Okay.
Dragon.
Putting some pieces together over the years and keeping your own relative magical abilities quiet. The one thing that you did observe through your time here at Break is those that displayed a large amount of magical ability disappeared. Not in the creepy, like, oh god, what are they being used for sort of way. More in the soldiers would show up and present them with an offer that they couldn't refuse, and then they really wouldn't be seen much after that. And with the level of conscription within the military here, it's safe to assume that they probably are taken for, yeah.
Okay. So it's knowing what I know of the city before and now, would Break, if they were conscripting people, try to press a band of adventurers into service?
Hard to say. You yourself, will happily admit that the politics of the city is not something you really got into.
Yep.
You do know that it is one of the very few unirace cities. There's not a lot of other races here with the exception of humans. So just by the diverse nature of your group, it might be safe to assume that the level of trust is probably a lot lower. So perhaps not, but who can really say?
And yeah, okay.
Okay.
So I would just
Goddamn
let's keep the magic on the DL.
Yeah, we can keep the magic on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look straight at Marleman. like,
Right. I was gonna say
Digitated severed heads immediately.
Right.
Yeah.
Prince
that would explain her like
Those were-
really intense fear.
Those heads were in my pocket.
I
They
gotta be
weren't-
honest, like
yeah.
I'm around a lot of magic and I still would not be pleased with the severed heads. So
Let me be real here. Marleman wasn't pleased with it either.
that's fair.
Should be known. Marleman ain't happy. No
So,
matter what he tried to do.
Morgan, my favorite thing about what just happened there is that you were speaking in character voice, but saying your own name, so you 100% just third person yourself.
Yep.
yep.
So, Marlon, is your magic just broken, or are you good?
Marleman lets out a very low. I'm just gonna do it. Just a,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm broken, Sai.
Oh, I know you are. I mean your magic.
My magic is yes. I'm just gonna say yes.
I mean, we've had weird stuff happen before with you. It's not like it's
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've been broken for a long time.
We've
I'm
just
gonna-
come to expect the unexpected with you, Marleman.
I'm gonna press to digitate a hand in front of him and say high five,
Okay.
and like far enough away so it's obvious that I want him to also do the thing.
Okay.
Oh fuck!
Can they
I pressed to digitate a high five. I have to. This man has double dog dared me.
You're not doing anything.
Pearl.
Sai,
It goes off without a hitch. Nothing happens.
Okay.
can they detect if somebody's using magic?
I mean,
Alarm bells start going off everywhere. Klaxons
No.
everywhere. Yes.
so again, it's not that there's no
No,
magic.
I'm
There's
just
no magic
curious.
users. Like
I'm
there's still
aware.
Yeah,
there's
it's
still people
it's
who use
like-
magic. It's just
It
Sure.
seems to be a little different from the last time you were here, so perhaps just to be safe, we'll try to keep magic to a minimum.
I mean that's true, but the reason I ask is because he's probably the best with illusions, and we have a couple people here that are gonna stick out like sore thumbs.
Yeah, I
And
know.
it's a very racist city.
And you'll wonder why. You won't necessarily wonder why I haven't been talking much.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Do you think if I become some type of ridiculous animal that it'll draw all the attention away from the other
That seems
people in our crew?
unhelpful, so we're gonna.
Just a peacock walking
I-
around.
Yes, and
No, actually, I kind of love that idea, but
As you
it's fine.
as you all chuckle and have a good laugh over Aramil pitching basically what he does on a daily basis.
While scolding Morgan for doing
Yeah.
everything he does on a daily basis.
Marleman, not Morgan. Morgan lives an okay
Marleman,
life.
Marleman.
Yeah, Marlon, don't be stupid. But what if I did this?
You all hear from one of the windows in the back corner. You all hear.
My people.
I just yell, "Oh, for fuck's sake, come in!"
Um,
No, please don't.
and
I
through
lean over towards Sai and I go, "This is part 2."
and through that window in crawls a chicken, a relatively small white chicken that kind of preens itself a little bit and dusts itself off and looks over at all of you and cocks its head and then just bark, bark.
Caramel?
Looks,
I'm going to turn into a chicken.
Okay.
you turn into a chicken and the chicken immediately goes "Bark-caw, bark-caw-caw."
Can I hear what he's saying because I'm a chicken now?
Sure.
I don't think that's how animals.
I do have, like, it's like a gnome skill or something that I can speak with small animals.
I'm
Hang
reasonably certain that Marlon can also do.
Yeah, a lot of you guys can speak with small animals, but let's deal with the elf that just became a chicken, who then hears at chicken level, another one.
Oh,
I thought you were about to say deal with the elephant in the room. We're going to get more animals.
No, and the chicken in front of you guys shape changes into a very large, burly, black-haired gentleman who says,
Oh.
"Well, I didn't expect another changer here in the city, sir. You've found yourself in quite an interesting group."
I'm going to change into him now.
No!
can you
That would cost a spell slot, motherfucker.
can you change into things besides chickens? Because I feel like being just a chicken around a city seems
Oh my
suspicious.
god!
You'd be
Also
surprised.
extremely dangerous.
People
I-
tend not to take a look down at,
Well,
small
more
things
surprised
clucking
that
about.
someone didn't just grab you to try to eat you.
That's
Oh.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
No, we don't really have to worry about. Sai, who are these people?
I get up and I just give him like a big bro hug and
Okay.
like,
Arthur kind of
yeah,
claps you back.
Aw.
yeah. This is a crew that I'm running with right now. I still got the old hunt gig. These guys are helping me with it.
Fair enough.
Right.
He sort of turns and gives a small bow to you all,
Yeah.
sits up and says, "My name is Arthur. Arthur Forgehammer.
Aw.
You may refer to me as the cock. Many people do."
I absolutely refuse.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
I just call him a dick.
And you can call Sai the balls.
There-
You all need to be fucking stopped.
There was a time when he was hammering my steel.
Oh,
Anyway,
Oh my god.
yeah, all right. This is fun.
Call the guards.
He
Boy,
sort
you
of
guys really have the medal for this one.
Oof.
he looks at you, Marleman, and seeing a fellow pun master, continue and looks at you and just goes, "Ah, yes, I made some of the finest rods here in the city."
Oh,
People are all criminals.
I actually am. And he looks at you, and goes, "Fun group."
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you all had to come to our beautiful city under such dire circumstances.
Yeah, your guards don't think we're that fun.
No, they rarely find much fun in anything, really.
Especially not severed heads. And then I go like Marleman definitely does like a and just
Yeah, watch out for that one.
hiding behind Trev now.
He looks uncomfortable.
As yes.
He looks,
Redirecting.
yes, moving over. So I assume you're here about the dragon situation.
Yeah.
I was wondering when your bosses were going to catch wind of this.
Well, actually,
Well, what do you know?
Well, first,
Well,
what do you all know? May I speak freely about?
Yes. Oh yeah, absolutely.
About the balls?
Everyone
Anyway.
knows my balls, boy.
Yes. They were heavy and beautiful.
stop.
Big and brass, just like your armor.
He is, shirtless, but still. He kind of turns to all of you and says, "Well, about 3 months ago, an ancient blue dragon crawled its way out of the base of the Great Lakes and decided to lay its claim over the region to the west. I would only assume, because you work as a Fey hunter and whatnot, at a certain point, the lords above, let's call them, would take some interest."
What else? What can you tell me about this dragon and the forces at least? Does it have a name?
Last I heard, its name was Grimspire, which is the most
That's
draconic bullshit I've ever heard.
Yeah. Oh, can I? Yeah, go on.
From the tales that we've heard of those who have fled his quote-unquote rampage, he is, as most blue dragons, relatively greedy, relatively vain, wants it all and is looking for it all.
This one's not mechanical, right?
No.
No.
Does he have the power to take it all?
Well, he came charging out with an army of kobolds and some followers who seemed to appear out of nothing, so far so good for the dragon.
These everyone follow me on this. These followers wouldn't happen to be like kind of like Dragonborn, but not really.
They're mildly scaled, if that's what you mean.
They just have really bad eczema.
Are they followers of? And then I pull out the symbol of the. I think it was Tiamat we found on those corpses back at the monastery.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pull out this. Is this these guys?
Arthur kind of looks at it and sort of shivers a bit and goes, "Heavens, I hope not. No, they're chromatics. All of them have a certain worship of Tiamat, and though I haven't heard of any direct instance of attempting to open things up to her cage, wouldn't surprise me."
Okay.
Is Break putting up any sort of resistance to this dragon?
Well, that's the question of the hour that I would also like answered here. For the past few months, and he sort of gestures broadly, this is the shit we've been dealing with. People pulled out of their beds, any able-bodied man, woman, or other, brought forward and said, "Here's a spear, get ready to fight." And then they've been going nowhere. They've just been marshalling at the base of the hill. I don't know. A lot of them have been disappearing in nighttime raids and never coming back. I've clucked about trying to find as much information as I can, but nothing.
Have they tried to recruit you? I mean, you seem strong.
He gives you a grin, Trev, and says, "They couldn't find me if they wanted to."
And they don't want
interested
to.
because of magic and whatnot.
He kind of looks at you, Marleman, and says, "The only reason you know that I can do any amount of magic is because you're with him."
And the fact that you were a chicken.
Well,
And the fact that I saw you do that whole thing there.
well, yes, it's kind of the... All right. Anyway.
But the point is taken. I get it.
Is it?
What's with the magic deal, by the way? What's going on? Why?
Oh, I have a fun curse, and he looks at Sai, that someone has been working with the person who gave it to me to try and get it off me, and then it hasn't happened yet.
Sounds like
Amen. This is the
It comes in
monster
hand.
creation.
You're not a
you and I have a lot in common when it comes to bad magic.
I mean,
he's not a druid, this guy?
Oh, no, I wish.
Oh.
I can only turn into a chicken.
Yeah, you're right.
Cool to be a druid. I know.
I turn into a peacock.
He turns back into a chicken and then turns back out of being a chicken. He goes, "I only got the one. I'm sorry."
More contest. It's okay.
More-
It's very nice.
He's
More
a
specifically,
one trick chicken.
what's
okay.
the magic in this city,
Well, that's
or lack thereof?
been an always, and it only got worse. Once the dragon showed up, the magical raids became oppressive. Anything that could even shoot sparks out of their fingers were taken.
Has there been actual attempts to fight this dragon at all that you can definitively say happened?
Maybe 2 months ago, a battalion went west and attempted to unseat the dragon. They never came back, and I haven't seen any offensives move that way.
I wonder.
Are we in danger here because we can do magic?
Well, if you keep it on the down low, I think that the overall racism of the peoples here will just keep their eyes off you for the most part anyway.
All right.
Is there anything else we should worry about while we're here?
Don't be here.
Come on.
Yeah. Are we going to be able to leave the city without too much issue?
I feel like they're not going to want us to stay. I don't feel like
Yeah, he kind of gives a shrug and says, times are tough here. Resources are thin. The less mouths to feed, especially those that don't fit into the break hierarchy, probably will be appreciated. Seeing your backs walking down the road.
I just didn't know if they were going to have a strict order sort of situation.
No, only to the east primarily. They've been using the forever. The Breaking Empire has gone to the sea, to the west. But yes, only the east has been primarily more fortified.
What is to the east again?
The Burning Plains, where Vader comes from.
So, you wouldn't recommend then us trying to talk to the Jarl to get help fighting the dragon?
He gives a very dry chuckle and says, "I don't think the people listening or talking to the Jarl are anyone but the Jarl at this point."
Is there any chance that he may have been, how do I put this? Is he in cahoots
With the dragon? I
Yeah.
don't believe so.
Could explain why they haven't made any attempt to fight it, though. If the dragon is somehow holding the city hostage.
And he sort of leans back a bit, as power hungry as Jarl Borgrim can be, the power hungriness and the lack of trust that a blue dragon would have would outweigh that by 1,000. They're a match made in heaven, but they would never even speak.
I am a little curious on something, though. This is supposed to be an ancient blue dragon. And he crawled out of this months ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's been content to sit on one village, one gnome village.
That's the part that we don't understand, that I don't understand, and I was hoping you could help me out with. I don't know what they are doing there. I don't know what his plans are. I don't know if he even has plans at this point. I think he's just happy to be not wherever he was. But there has to be something more. There's always something more.
Hey, I pull Nyx aside and be like, is your hometown, does it have any valuable resources that a dragon would want?
not that I'm aware of.
Could you say it again?
Nah, sorry, Siri.
Kiri didn't have the answer.
No, she didn't. My oracle didn't work.
Yeah, and I don't. As far, I mean, that's as far as my knowledge goes. I don't know if DM just thinks that Nyx would have more knowledge than that, but as far as I know, Nyx would just think it was a town. Yeah.
Yep, just a town.
Okay.
Okay, so then here's the part where Marleman asks that question out loud, but doesn't ask that question specifically, but is more of a, why is this dragon here anyways?
Arthur just sort of shrugs.
Something woke
I
up.
mean, there's got to be something, right? Like,
I mean, he nods over to Phaedra and says, she kind of got it on the head right now. I'm just assuming that something woke him up. He mustered up whatever he can muster up, which turned out to be a lot, and crawled onto the banks of somewhere.
Dragons can hibernate, right?
Oh, yes, for a very long time.
what's their deal?
How big is his army compared to the full strength of break and then the actual trained useful strength of break?
From what we could gather and what I could gather, it looks to be maybe 50 to 60 followers and at least 800 to 900 kobold.
Okay, so decent amount.
Okay.
Well, each of us is like 50 people, right?
Well, you're
No.
selling me a little short, but go on.
I
Between
have
the,
to average out some of us here, okay? Listen.
on the strength of break, you know, if the dragon itself was not involved, and any wormlings that it's brought along, and granted, I haven't heard if it has, but
We have to assume that.
the armies of break could probably crush this relatively quickly. But there's a dragon.
Right. And if there wasn't a dragon,
Probably would be not as much conscription.
I feel like we gotta try and talk to this Jarl. This guy's too fishy.
Yeah.
Maybe
But-
we send a delegation.
Of who?
Some of
I
us.
Probably the human and the gnome.
I see this going one of two ways. Either we can get the Jarl on board to launch an offensive if we lock down the dragon, or we somehow manipulate the dragon into actually sending his forces or the forces of break meeting his army while we still take care of the dragon. Either way,
We could try and talk
we got a fucking dragon.
to him like,
Arthur pops up and goes, I will say you do have a third option, which is remove the dragon, and kobolds are not particularly an issue.
right. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the goal is to remove the dragon. It's just anything to assist with that would be nice because it is a dragon.
Well, I'm just,
Plus 900
I'm just
or so
thinking-
dudes. Yeah.
you know, getting the 900 or so dudes out of our way so we have a clean shot at the dragon. Very much.
Yeah. Like, I think
You know.
if we talk to the Jarl, like, we could try and spin it like,
War is at your doorstep.
I mean, basically, but if he's conscripting all of these people because of fear of the dragon and it's doing what it's doing to the city, like, we might be able to try and convince him to, like, kind of make or break, you know, something's got to change, like, that while we're on your side and are helping you for, like,
We can be the tipping point that actually starts this fight.
Just sent a picture of a kobold,
Like-
by the way.
like,
Yeah.
while
So you
you
don't
have
know.
us here and on your side to, like, do this to help you, like, put this
I'm with you on that. But again, I think we need to pick a select group of people to go do that because
Yeah.
I just question this.
I'm worried about the whole racism thing.
The
Right.
people who are getting conscripted,
Hmm.
do you know if they're ever seen again?
Oh, sure.
Oh,
And he
the
sort of
magical
gestures.
we saw conscripted.
Oh, the
The
magical conscriptions,
Oh.
not in any recognizable way.
Something doesn't. Like, I'm not just gonna assume that the guy's like, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if there's somebody who's got a connection to the dragon that's somehow keeping the city from fighting it. Like, obviously, it would be a tough fight, but something still's rubbing me the wrong way. about that.
Yeah, I'm with you
I
on that
agree.
too, but I don't think we're
Yeah.
going to just be able to figure that out just sitting here. I think we have to go meet the Jarl.
Yeah, for sure.
I think one of us will have a better judge of this character once we sit down and actually talk with him.
I can try and zone of truth him.
Oh,
I would prefer it if we did. Listen, that's coming from me. I would prefer it if we didn't do any magic.
I think
Yeah.
we send
Here,
Ryan
I'm a fisherman.
Nix. The rest of us will just be. Wait, are you human, Marlon?
Yes.
But do you
All
want
right.
us
Well.
to Parliament?
Well, listen.
I can do.
You can vote of truth him.
Believe it or not,
great question.
I can do. My charisma is a 20. I can do this.
It's.
I mean, so is mine,
problem
bro.
here.
It's your wisdom of an 8.
Yeah.
My wisdom is not 8. My wisdom is 17. I'll have you know.
Oh, all right.
Really?
Like I wish
I have
that,
a very good setup here. My lowest is intelligence or strength.
what are all the
With 12.
movies and stuff where
Nice.
the person like feeds
Right,
the person
right.
what to say through like an earpiece. Like I wish I could just whisper the things Parliament's
I mean-
ear should say, but use his charisma to make it convincing. Like
We do have communication methods. Like,
I don't want to. I mean, we can't.
I
use
have so
magic,
many
though.
spell slots for message.
Can we like?
no, I mean, we have the beads that we use to communicate with Titania and Oberon.
we could like have Marleman wear a very large trench coat of some sort, and then like
He's a hunchback.
Nobody believes me. For good reason.
No, I think actually we can send Nix in there though because like
No, I just.
it's the gnome city.
yeah,
we're
I mean she could be. A
I know.
local,
I just my charisma's not as good as his. So like
Right.
my
No,
We'll do the talking.
Be there to help make it so Marleman doesn't super fuck up.
Right. I listen. I'm the one familiar with the city. I'll do the talking. Question though: is
Right.
the gnome town under the jurisdiction or banner of Break, or are they something separate?
I think
Depends who you ask.
Oh dear.
The Jarl. I'm asking the Jarl.
If you ask the Jarl, yes. If you ask the gnomes of the village, no.
That's all I care about is the Jarl right now. 'cause
What does he
he's the
think?
one
That's all I
trying to-
care about. Yeah.
He
Well, I don't want him to then be like, "Well, I saved your asses. Now you owe me."
I mean,
it's
listen,
kind of
yeah.
like Georgia. If you ask Russia, Russia
Oh.
owes Georgia. If you ask Georgia, not so much.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I also have this spell called Friends.
Uh huh. Oh, zone of truth. No. But
What
friend-
about your real friend, Marleman?
Friends also.
All right.
Friends
so
also know.
just to move this forward. So the idea is that some of you are going to go talk to the Jarl.
I think
Yes.
so. Yeah.
Who is going?
Yo.
I guess
I do
not.
not.
I guess not me or Trev.
Yeah,
I
I
certainly
mean,
don't.
you guys would just need disguises. Like,
Or just I could just not. I could chill
Yeah.
here with Chicken Man.
Hey, Joe,
Yeah.
your camera is a little
He sort of
it's really good.
I not to impose if you're cool with it. I just
Oh.
don't.
My house is your house.
So yeah, we can stay here.
my house is all of your houses.
He sort of rolls his
I
eyes.
believe it less coming from you.
Oh, listen. There are select people who have access to my houses. He's one of them. But
Regardless. So the three of you take leave of the residence and make your way. It's about midday. Sun is relatively up. And you begin to make your way up the muddy hill towards the Longhouse, through some of the other districts, and back up. It takes probably about 45 minutes or so to get up there. As you arrive, the wooden gates are closed and drawn, and there are a few armored, look a little bit less like conscripts, but maybe not the oldest guards in the world, are kind of standing out front, and they shout, "You there! Halt!
Oh,
State your business."
can we communicate with those?
Yeah.
Sounds okay. I tell before they head out. Nix, tell me as soon as you leave talking with this guy. Okay,
Okay, am I able to do that?
with the stone, right? Like
With the
as
stone?
soon as you guys leave.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you all do.
Communicate with everyone.
Well, yeah, but like,
It's not a stone; it's a bee.
Oh,
Yeah,
the-
it's a bee that's been embedded in the back of your ear.
Okay, just
oh, that's
tell
right.
me as soon as you're done talking to the guy and you leave, let me know, because I have an idea.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh boy.
That'd be good.
Okay.
Okay.
State your business.
So our adventure is seeking an audience with the Jarl.
Thank you.
Yes.
He sort of kind of looks at you and says, "There are no audiences with the Jarl today. You should know that." He sort of looks over across all of you and says,
It's regarding the
You-
dragon.
"There are no audiences with the Jarl today."
There is no war in Bussing, say.
Is there anybody else near us?
Nope. It's a bit of a blank path for a bit leading up to the longhouse.
All right, fuck it.
Oh dear.
So why are there no audiences with the Jarl today?
The
Well,
Jarl has canceled all public appearances until the threat of the dragon has passed.
I'd like to do some sort of charisma check on this man, and I would like to tell him we are members of a group of people who are strong individuals who wish to aid
the
in
removal
this.
of the dragon.
Thank you.
Roll a persuasion with advantage because Nick is helping.
That's hold on. I know that's good, but that's a 12 plus 15.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you deal with that.
He sort of looks at you and says, "So you come to offer your services in removing the dragon?"
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
But first, we wish to make counsel with the Jarl.
He sort of
It
leans.
is important that we discuss it with him and him alone.
He sort of leans sideways and whispers something to another one of the guards, who opens up a small door in the fences and goes through. He looks at you and says, "Please wait. We shall have word as soon as possible."
It's Jay frozen.
So who has? It's everyone else has gone. It's just Nyx, Marleman,
And Sai.
and Sai. Okay.
I think Sai might be frozen. This might
He
be.
is frozen. Yeah, he's been
I'm
frozen.
still
Yeah.
here. My video does
Okay.
this.
It's
Okay.
just the video. I couldn't tell if it was the video.
Does
or
does
every-
turning off your cam or stopping your cam and turning it back on?
It should. It should.
Just hit the stop cam button and then hit it again.
Because basically,
Nope.
Nope, maybe not. I was going to say, at least in mine, it like turns my camera off and then turns it back on. So I thought maybe
Yeah, let's see if this works.
that's not going to do it.
You never know.
It could. It could. You're right. It very well could work.
Weirder shit has happened.
Yeah.
Well, there's no frozen picture anymore.
Yeah.
So we do that. We wait.
Yep. 5 minutes. 10 minutes.
Okay. All right. Sir,
Mm,
do you have any idea how long this will take?
I do not.
Is there any way that we could expedite this situation and let us in?
I do not.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Well, I tried.
Yeah. We
Wow.
wait.
About 5 minutes longer pass before that same guard who had gone inside suddenly slips back out the door and whispers something in the lead guard's ear, who shouts down to you. "We are opening the gates and you are to walk directly into the main hall. Someone will be there to greet you."
Thank you very much.
Understood. Thank you.
The wooden gates slide open, or they pull them open, I should say, and you're allowed into the longhouse. Immediately in front of you is a feast hall that is dark and dimly lit. The long tables have absolutely nothing on them, save some what look like stone candelabras that are not currently lit. And at the
Is it dusty, like unused?
no, just blank.
Okay.
And at the end of the hall in front of you are 3 large chairs. The longhouse itself is about 150 feet long.
Don't give her too much.
And so after walking down for a bit, you can see that the main chair, the largest of the chairs, is empty. But in the leftmost chair sits a woman in a purple dress with long black hair, who kind of looks at you all as you enter and says, "Welcome to the Longhouse, outsiders. We've been told that you have an offering."
Thank you for seeing us.
Yes, thank you for seeing us. Is the Jarl going to make an appearance?
Damn it.
I'm sorry.
God damn it.
Did I already fuck this up?
Yeah, kind of.
There's a beat, and then she says,
Oh my god.
"My name is Jarl Bergola.
Oh,
How
my apologies. My apologies. The chair confused me. I apologize.
Good Jarl, I have brought my jester with me. So
Oh, listen, bud. Come on.
she sort
I'm
of
a
looks and
mess.
says,
Oh my god.
I would assume that you mistook the situation for my husband. He and I share the title of Jarl."
My apologies. My deepest, sincerely, my deepest apologies.
Sexist motherfucker.
Seriously.
Nippy canon that when he did that, Nyx like swayed a little bit, like she was.
No, all right, listen. All right, I refuse to be picked on for that. But
no.
Why exactly?
No, bro.
I have your back on most things.
all right,
She sort of looks at you and says, "I am free to discuss whatever business you care to present."
So, we have just come. We have heard about your troubles with the dragon and the approaching war. And
When you say approaching war, Nyx, who has the highest passive perception of all of you?
It might be me.
I think it's Nyx. It is not. No, Armil is with you guys.
Oh God, where the fuck is my passive perception listed on this sheet? Oh, here it is, 19.
Okay, that is definitely the highest for you
Yeah.
guys.
yeah, that's the highest.
It's gonna be high.
Nyx, you notice a small twitch to the side
Sorry,
of
let
her
me
mouth.
just double check that I wasn't looking at the wrong sheet.
Yeah.
19.
Okay. You see a small twitch to the side of her mouth when Sai mentions the approaching war, but doesn't kind of say much.
There is no war in Bossing, say yes.
She says,
Did she continue? Yeah, okay.
or no, I'm waiting for Sai to continue.
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
I kind of cut you off mid thought there. Sorry.
no, I was waiting for you to see if you, Gary, continued. But okay.
No.
We have heard tell of the dragon, the impending war, and we've come to offer what aid we can. And we come with the startings of a plan, but in order to make it happen, we will need your help.
And what can
No.
you offer?
Ourselves.
Yeah, we can offer a group of experienced adventurers
Wow, Tony.
to take on the dragon.
So you're offering your own abilities to march into Hasper and remove the dragon.
We would
Go on.
like assistance with that, but we
Yes.
will do the bulk of it. It's just there's so many small things in the way that for us to get the big shot at the dragon that we know we can do, it would be really helpful for us and to help your city if we had some assistance in clearing those smaller obstacles out of the way.
She sort of stops and mulls it over for a second. But you yourselves would be the direct weapon, let's call it, against this beast.
Yeah.
Us and any, well, say, professional hunters that you can hire us. There's a few in the city that I know you guys have.
They are otherwise occupied. as you can tell, rations and resources here have been a little low. So all professional hunters have been tasked with feeding the city. However, you all seem relatively able. Show me what you can do.
Jesus.
And she snaps a finger, and 4 guards come rushing out of doors to either side of you, all of them pikes pointed in your direction.
Well,
They're simply standing there, not making any movements, which is why I'm not having you roll initiative quite yet.
So, okay.
I'm letting you react to this.
Yeah. So I would say that I hope no one else moves, but Nyx definitely does not move.
no, I'm not moving.
To keep her cool, and says, "While I understand you want proof, you may have heard of us. I can tell you of some of the deeds that we have done, some of the monsters that we have battled.
One of which was already a dragon.
For the record, yeah, right? Didn't we already fight a dragon?
We did indeed fight and defeat a dragon.
I would like to name
In
drop.
a manner of speaking. The dragon you faced was a skeleton, reanimated through black magic, but it was a dragon.
But I believe Captain Vondra will speak for our ability to handle monsters.
Drop that event. I just
when
can't.
you say Vondra, Sai, her eyes narrow a bit. Her shoulders kind of tighten just that tiny bit more. She's already a relatively on edge person, but you can tell that something has kind of caught her, and she says, so you've worked with the commander.
Yeah.
We've worked with a lot of people who have required our assistance against big catastrophes and big monsters.
We are mercenaries of a sort.
You wouldn't have happened to have been at the wall anytime soon, have you?
I have never been to the wall.
I think we have. Wait, but
No.
Side note, haven't
I
It was a long time
have
ago.
never been
It was
to
a
the
while
wall,
ago,
and
but
I
we
just
did,
like
right? Wasn't that where we met Perrin?
Yep.
I'm
About eight.
slapping
Yep.
Nyx.
No,
But
that's
I'm not saying this out loud. I just want
No,
to
no, no. Yeah,
that's
no.
Emily asking.
Yes,
Right,
you guys have been at the wall.
But it was like a
That's-
long time ago. Like,
Yeah, that is where you met
Here.
Vondra for the first time. That is where you guys then journeyed through the wall with Private Reggie, where you faced those bone snakes, and where you saw the first ritual from the Order of the Black Diamond.
yeah. But she asked if we'd been there recently, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like it's safe to say that we had been, but it was a long time ago now.
Very well. She snaps her fingers, and the 4 soldiers kind of take a beat. Says, "I'll allow your words to carry your deeds for now. I can command a company of soldiers to march to Hasper in 3 days' time. You have 3 days to set the stage to make sure that they are used to the way you need them to be used. And after that, they will attack the city at dawn."
Thank you. How many soldiers do you think you will be able to give us?
75.
75?
Against 900 kobolds.
I'm sure that the people of Break who march to Hasper can handle a few dragonkin.
I don't doubt their bravery and skill. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You may
Now-
leave.
Is there anything you can tell us about this dragon so that we can be more prepared? Or if not you, then an expert you have on the matter.
No. There is no information that I know or could share to make your quest any easier. All
Is
I
she
know is that
lying?
make an insight check.
Let's see. Oh, that's not great. That's a 9.
Lying is a funny word.
Mhm.
She's certainly not lying. She just might not be telling the entire truth.
Mm. Okay. But she didn't answer the question of, is there someone we could talk to?
Yeah.
Right?
She said there is no additional information that she could give you. That would make what you're about to do any easier.
To talk to.
That doesn't necessarily mean she doesn't know more about the dragon. Just
Sure.
yeah, I see. Okay.
If that is all, you may take your leave, and I recommend you begin your journey as quickly as you can.
Very well. Thank you for your time.
She rises and looks over the three of you and says, 3 days. I hope the city still stands in 3 days. And she walks out of the room.
Don't trust this bitch.
Okay, so we leave, I assume.
Yeah.
And Nick buzzes Phaedra.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
While I'm waiting for that, I ask.
Arthur.
Thank you. I was going to say Chicken Man because I couldn't remember.
Chicken
That also would have
man.
worked, by the way.
I would have known who you were talking about at least.
Yeah, fair. If he can describe what the Jarl looks like.
He says, well, the Jarls rule in tandem. There's the male Jarl Bagura,
Mhm.
who is a last seen spry, relatively young man. No one's really seen him much in the past few months.
Okay.
And then there's his wife, Jarl Bagura, who is a raven-haired beauty, from what we've been told.
Do we
Okay.
know why nobody has seen him recently? That sounds sinister.
They canceled all public appearances. They've canceled open court, under the words of preparing for an offensive.
Certainly not suspicious at all. So they're
Certainly not suspicious at all.
so if they're going to meet, are they more likely to meet with both of them?
She has been the more public face.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna do my best to get as best of an idea of what this person looks like.
Okay.
All right, and I'm thinking, well, as soon as because this isn't while you guys are doing this,
Yeah.
when Nyx lets me know, I want to try and scry on this person to see.
Okay. You attempt to scry. Don't burn a spell slot. You hit the same magical resistance you did when you attempted to scry within the City of Bones. Or Lothander, I should say. City of Bones is the title of that arc, not the actual name of that city.
All right. Nope. Can't scry.
Okay.
There's not like a thing that's on your person that's preventing the scrying, right?
No, I will say Phaedra is not wearing the Ring of Shreds.
All right.
No.
Just wanted to make sure.
No.
Okay.
Well, that's annoying. Okay. I was going to see if I could see what their reaction was after your group left.
Make a insight check.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, okay. That's pretty good. Okay, 26. Because I rolled a 17 and I have +9.
Holy shit. You're a relatively thoughtful individual at times, and can probably put 2 and 2 together. You know, these are the leaders of the human state and don't trust magic.
Fair enough, yeah.
They've probably taken ways to make sure that this exact thing just can't be done to them in some way.
That makes sense. Should I... Okay.
Okay.
Okay. No, I guess we'll wait for them to come back then.
Which we are doing. We're coming back.
Yeah.
Yep, you make it back without much effort. Sun's starting to go down, but it's still relatively bright out. The light snowfall that had been coming through is starting to pick up. It is definitely getting a little bit stormier as you arrive at the home.
How'd it go?
Well, if I was small enough to give Marleman a wedgie, I would have. But if otherwise,
Well, So you know how there's the male y'all and the female y'all?
Well, yes, we
Uh-huh.
did.
Did he hit on her?
No.
I-
No.
Listen, it was an honest mistake.
It was a mistake.
I'm pretty
I'm
sure he did. In Skyrim, Jarl applies to the female Jarls and the male Jarls.
Hey, see, I don't know that.
Marleman's never played Skyrim.
Marlon,
Foley.
A, one, has never done that. B, Morgan actually didn't know that, so thank you for educating me on that. C, it was an honest mistake, so get off my back. Thank you.
We learned something here. Kid.
Honest mistake.
Mhm.
And I
Still,
meant my apology to that fake character, sincerely.
they
So what'd they say?
The bear was
Uh,
smaller.
they're definitely Jesus. They're definitely hiding
Don't set me up to
something.
make me feel like somebody who's not that person.
A political leader hiding something.
Yeah,
Oh.
I know, shocking. But we only met with her. There was no one else, and it took some convincing.
Mhm.
We convinced them that we're mercenaries and that we need soldiers too, and we'll take the dragon.
Mhm.
They were she was very hesitant to give us any information. They know something and they're hiding it, and I don't like it.
Hmm.
This whole situation's fishy.
So what's the likelihood that they're actually going to send soldiers then?
I think that's good, considering they're only committing 75 people.
Is that a lot?
75,
not-
like 900 kobolds.
Kobolds are
I can kill them with one swipe of my
Yeah,
sword.
they're real tiny and they're not very strong. They do well by just being a lot of them. Not
Neither, however, are conscripted soldiers.
Yes.
Right.
They're also not very
Right.
strong.
And I also got the impression that we're not getting the trained guards.
Hmm.
We are getting fresh meat, and
We're
it's not
getting
going to end
garbage.
well.
We're getting a meat grinder.
Said we had
But-
3 days to prepare. I wonder if we could like coach them, like a little mini boot camp.
Let's get that.
It's worth noting that it will take about a day and a half to walk to Hasper.
Hmm.
We're not going to be walking.
Maybe we could take just a day then. Just take a day.
I
Get us
I
all.
assume we're going to tree strike.
I still think we need to get there ahead of time to let the city, like,
I mean,
your
we need to get there ahead of time just to figure out what the hell we're going to do with this dragon.
I can try
Like-
scrying on it, but
I mean, it's worth a shot. I'm actually going to while she's doing that, take time to contact the boss lady.
Okay.
can I
Or-
scry on a dragon?
I mean, there's
Why not?
not to say that you can't.
Okay.
Does anybody know if
I do
dragons?
know its name now, so that'll
You
help.
do. It does
What?
help.
What is it again?
Grimspire?
Grimspire.
Grimspire.
God, what a tool.
Do we know?
Blue dragons aren't clever.
the name of my metal album.
Should I scry on the dragon, see what it's up to?
Can we try and talk to this dragon? Do dragons talk?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, they talk well.
Blue dragon. I forget. Gary told us last time specifically that they're not. I forget what you told us last time because I'm trying to not conflate Heather's dragon knowledge with.
Ask your question and I can tell you again.
Do we know if it's like a particularly clever dragon? If it's like very like obviously it's like higher intelligence because it's a dragon, but
Yeah, they are vain as fuck, blue dragons. They have the traditional greediness of any chromatic. They are not the most intelligent of the dragon species that is reserved for the reds and the greens. But they're not particularly dumb either.
but they're
The
not
big
like, bestial in the sense of just attacking any.
no,
random
they're not black dragons in that way. They're not war hungry so much or battle hungry.
Okay.
They you know, I hate to conflate dragons in this way, but they fall in the same way of white dragons of just sort of vain and looking for glory, but a little bit less on the war side, more on the hoarding and wealth side of things.
Okay.
So, like, it might actually help to talk to this dude.
Also, it's worth noting that blues are especially fond of gems.
Hey, Sai,
Yo,
Gems are truly outrageous.
was this city particularly like I
like
don't know?
what?
Did it have a lot of like art and goods? Like, were there a lot of like trade? In, like,
I mean, there
before
was some. It wasn't like Lathander, which
Okay.
was like, a cultural center. This was very much a like you've seen the architecture. Like,
Yeah, but I'm just because I was wondering if maybe they were trying to offer up to try and bribe the dragon at all.
I
Maybe
mean,
any mining sites.
Are there any mines around here?
are there any mines around here?
Yeah, around Break, a little bit less so, but around the mountains, certainly.
Any near Habsburg?
Hasper's relatively close to the mountains, so yeah.
Maybe that's what
Perhaps.
it's there for.
There'll be some gem in them hills.
Sort of gem vein, something it wants.
We got to talk to this guy and ask him what he's doing here.
What guy?
You're gonna just talk to the dragon.
The Dragon Man.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
okay. Arthur, do you know if anybody's actually tried to communicate with the dragon or open the dialogue?
I mean, I know that the first company that was sent from Break was sent under the auspices of not just attempting to drive the dragon out, but also to connect and figure out what it was doing here. I can only imagine that some comment or stray affair pissed it off, and so it goes. You know, blues, they're
Yeah.
thin-skinned.
Gracious. Yeah.
Prideful.
Hmm.
Alright, I'm gonna
Dang.
scroll on this guy. I'm gonna try and see if I can find anything about
Alright.
this guy.
Okay.
I'm going to ask Titania and Oberon if they're familiar with Grimspire, the Ancient Blue.
They report back that about 300 to 400 years ago, they heard something about a young blue dragon that was, being a young blue dragon, but not something in a long, long time.
Is anything about a lake?
Nothing in that way, no.
Okay. Cool. All right, I'm gonna cast Scrying on this guy.
Okay. I'm just checking some stuff quick here. Okay. And does he have a save for scrying? I forget.
There must check. Hang on. Scrying go.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I'm pre-rolling this die since I just rolled 3 1s in a row. Whew!
Jesus. Okay.
You're benched for the evening.
Yeah, Wisdom save of 17.
Okay. That is a 17.
Shit. Okay.
So you get static, some fuzziness, maybe some glimpse of claws and blue scale, but nothing solid.
I can try again. I think. Well, I don't know actually if I can try again. Let me see.
I believe we may have house ruled that you can only scry once a day, but it's not in the regular Ash rules. Scry on the same target once a day. I mean,
Yeah.
Do we know anybody who's an expert in dragons? Like,
no.
I think Phaedra is actually the best.
The most knowledgeable about dragons that you know is Phaedra, and Quentin, who is MIA.
I can send a message to Kazuna and maybe have her check the Illuminata.
Oh. Yes, do that.
That's a way to go.
But the thing is, like, I would then have to just unless she knows the information right now. Like when I message her, she's gonna need to check the book and then message me back. So,
I mean, we have a couple days.
I guess I can say I'll check back in like a day and then see if she knows anything.
Okay. You reach out and ping her and basically say that, hey, can you search the book for blue dragons? What do you got?
Specifically Grimspire, see if you can find it.
Specifically Grimspire.
Yeah.
Yeah. you said you'll check back in tomorrow. She says she'll search the book over
Cool.
the next 24.
Remind me, the dwarves said that they would send aid for us if we asked for it, right?
Yep. And they said it would take, or they're actually marshaling already because it would take them a few days to get there. They said it would take about 5 days for them to march down.
Oh, never mind then.
Yeah, but
Armies, man, got to marshal and they move slow.
No, it's
sense.
yeah, it's understandable.
I tried scrying on the Jarl when you guys came back, but it didn't work. But I don't know. Maybe I just don't like something about this situation. Just somebody knows something.
Oh, it stinks, and I'm assuming we're gonna have to deal with it sooner or later. But she made a.
Oh, sorry. Is our timing fucked up with the armies that won't be there at the same time?
Why would they not be there?
Well, because one's going to march in 3 days and one's going to march in 5 days.
Assuming we even get this army, assuming this lady's going to even keep her word. Because what if she's communicating with the dragon and is going to let him know we're coming?
Yeah, and the Dwarven army is going to take about 5 days to get there.
Yeah, and would probably be considered an invasion. So
there's
we have to be careful about pulling that card.
But we didn't ask them to come. We just asked if they would come.
Right.
Them to come.
And they began marshaling to be ready.
Yeah, they were starting the process.
But it's still 5 days travel time.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So they wouldn't get here in time. So we should probably, I don't know. I guess maybe we can tell them to come anyway for possible cleanup. I don't know.
My guess is at the very least, like, the people of your town are going to need some help rebuilding, and we can always ask them for their assistance in that.
Right.
I would hope between our group and the people you know, and I think we could probably communicate something, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Right.
And Armil, just for your own knowledge, because you would have known this through the course of your life, it is possible to barter with dragons. You know, it's been done. It happens, whatnot. But the natural alignment of a dragon is lawful evil. They are fucking dickbags completely.
Right.
They have about as much patience and about as much trust for you as a demon would.
Right.
Hell, you might actually get further bartering with some demons.
Right.
At least they'll stick to the letter of the law, probably.
I just want to find out what the hell he's doing here.
I tried scrying, but it didn't work. I can try again tomorrow. But...
Yeah, he's a dragon man, busy doing dragon stuff.
If we ask, it just means it might not matter if he shares his plan.
Right.
Like, it won't change that we have to fight him, but you could always ask.
Right.
Yeah, right. This
I mean,
whole
if we
situation is too fishy, and he has no alignment with. Right, and like, I don't know. I'm just saying, there's some conspiracy bullshit going on here, and
Perhaps
he might just tell us because he's an asshole. And he doesn't shit about anybody.
There's no harm in asking. It's just don't expect it to stop him from.
So he'll
doing
tell us,
Yeah.
we'll keep him, and then we'll fix whatever's happening.
Yes.
Is my
perhaps the Jarl is the dragon.
right.
Maybe. Who knows? Not me.
One
Well,
half is the
shit.
Jarl.
Now I gotta delete pages and pages of documents and notes.
I have my own crazy conspiracy theory, so we'll see.
Nix, I know you told me not to message your family yet, but what if I do that so we can see if we can get any information, like, about the dragon or what it's doing
I
there?
feel like I should remind you that message is a 20-word.
No, not message, sending.
Thing.
Sorry, sending.
Okay.
Sorry, I say
I
message.
know you asked
I
me
meant
not
sending.
to do this. But what if I did?
Well, no,
because
because
I want to.
because I try. No, I'm asking her permission. Because I tried scrying on the dragon and I wasn't able to. I could try asking and see if they know anything.
Also, was that information that everybody in the party knows, or is that stuff that you only spoke to each other with?
I don't remember.
I want to make sure you didn't just like out some secret.
Was that something? I think we discussed this with everyone, right?
Yeah, but I believe that came out during the conversation of going.
Yeah.
So
I remember when it originally happened, and I was like,
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think I didn't. I think I might have only shared the details of the letter with Phaedra.
yeah.
But like I think the rest of it was all
Yeah.
knowledge, yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway, yeah,
All this being said, what do you want to do next? You have a couple different options available to you. You could go and attempt to talk with the training forces to see if you can kind of help train this 75-person outfit that may or may not be sent along behind you. You could start moving now to attempt to lay the groundwork for when these people arrive. They won't just be thrown into a melee. You have some options on the table for you.
I mean,
I'm personally scared of doing anything because I don't want to cast a spell and upset anybody.
Listen,
I mean,
the truth, I would prefer not to get bag over the head and nabbed.
And I will, for the purposes of RML and the rest of you guys, the amount of live, living, large trees in this kind of city is very minimal.
Are there any trees outside the city?
Not for a while.
Okay.
Oh fuck!
There are a lot of log houses and a lot of stuff made of timber. There's been some serious deforestation.
Oh, great.
Get the fuck out of here!
okay.
What more thing to hate about this place?
in order to get to like a decent tree, we'd need to like travel for a half day or so.
Yeah, give or take.
Probably.
But that, I mean, that would still leave us a decent amount of time to get to where we're going.
I'm just saying, like, it's not going to be walk out the front door of this house and jump into a tree and you're good to go. Like,
right.
There's still some time involved in that as well.
Well, honestly, I could plant a tree because fuck this place.
But you can't do that. I forgot about that.
No, just cut it down.
Yeah, not in the 3 seconds. Like, but we just need to get out of here. We don't need to come back yet.
All right. So let's decide what we're gonna do because Emily needs to go to bed.
I vote on train the people.
Yeah.
Now what we're working with.
That is my vote. I would like to give them any advantage that we can. And I feel like it would be to their advantage to like, because I assume they've probably never fought kobolds before.
Huh.
They probably don't have much, if any, battle experience. So like any, just like we don't like honestly, we don't need to spend like a ton of time on it, but like any information we can share with them that would.
Is there? Yeah. I'm with you on that. They need some sort of training, even if it comes from somebody like me or Aramil, who aren't necessarily fighters.
Yeah,
but they need combat experience.
It'd also be nice to see 75 bodies that
can't hear you.
Carl is gonna send with us.
Hang on, Craig just said something very important.
I would absolutely love to help. I do not believe they will listen to me.
Right.
No. Yeah.
No, or me probably.
I'm gonna say like battle strategy is a thing that I know pretty well, but
if
I think they will listen.
Well, what if Marleman and Trev go together? Because then they have someone that they're not so racist to.
Well, I'm also thinking greater illusion. Like, is that something you have access to? Can you make him or polymorph or something to make him look like a human?
The thing you're looking for more than anything is either greater illusion, disguise self, or steaming.
Let me see if I could. I don't think I have access to any of those.
I did not come into this scenario with any of those things.
How long will it take you to prepare it?
I believe I have to level up.
Yep. Marleman needs to level up. If Armil or Phaedra can add it to their spellbooks.
I'm checking. Hang on.
Yeah.
I might be able to, but honestly, could we just send Trev with Sai? And if anyone fucks with you,
that's true. That's probably a bet.
Prove that you can murder all of them.
Well,
I know because a couple.
Hey, Emily.
Yes.
What level spells can you cast up to?
Not very high.
Okay.
2, 3.
Okay. Because.
Actually,
I just realized something. Oh my god.
What?
Marleman can swap his bard spells on asleep, just not his sorcerer spells.
Oh, hell yeah.
I don't have access to any. Okay.
Then I can absolutely do this.
Yep.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me just do a quick Google search.
It's a 5th level bard spell.
I cannot do this.
Oh. Oh no, but it's also a 5th level sorcerer spell, but you can't do that.
You can't. No.
I can only do up to level 2 as a bard.
I mean, it's good to give them some combat experience. It's also good to make sure that we're going to hopefully get a better idea that they're actually going to show up, because part of me still thinks they're just not going to come.
Yeah, I mean, there's
I
also
don't
part
trust
of
the
the
thing this lady said.
to like
All right.
kind of like take charge of that group like before they even get there to make sure that they get there, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so what you guys are going to do? Are you going to do it tonight? Are you going to do it? Are you going to sleep on it and do it tomorrow?
Dude,
What time is it?
how can we get in,
Getting towards the early evening.
Yeah.
how can we gather these folks?
I mean, they are already in barracks. Like they are.
Well, maybe we could just go there tonight and just tell them
Tomorrow morning.
the plan and tell them we're going to start like bright and early tomorrow morning because we don't have a lot of time.
Okay.
Does
So
that
you
make
all.
sense? Does that,
Yeah.
do you guys agree with that?
So
Yeah.
bear in mind, though, we're not going to be with the army when they're fighting.
No, but that's part of why we need to like
Yeah.
prepare them, because we're not going to be there to.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we'll be there, but not probably the whole time.
Also,
I mean-
like this night, we need to come up with a strat, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm worried about how hard this dragon's going to be to take down. Like, we need to prepare for this thing massively.
Mhm.
Okay.
Speaking of which, is
Mhm.
Arthur able to help us in the fight?
Yeah.
Arthur sort of shrugs and goes, I mean, sure, I can either be with whatever company gets sent along with you, or I can go with you guys. And stable body here.
So what? I know you can turn into a chicken, but besides that,
Just a chicken.
I'm pretty handy with a spear. And I have very minimal magic ability.
okay. Do you have any like healing spells or anything?
That is beyond my magical capability.
Okay.
I feel like we send this guy with the
Yeah, it might be good.
with the crew to lead them.
I wouldn't. We'll discuss that later.
Yeah.
He's trying to hide from these people. Maybe it's not the best idea to send him without us.
He sort of generally nods at Phaedra. Not trying to.
I mean, just to get murdered by a dragon, like.
Well, because again, magic people have been mysteriously disappearing. So
That's why I'm also trying to not do anything.
that's why I might.
Magic wise.
The fact that I'm a magical person and not human,
Yeah.
I might stay here and communicate with Kaluna and talk and get as much information as I can about the dragon in general.
That's probably the best use of your skills.
Yeah.
Okay. So Phaedra is staying behind to Oracle, essentially,
Mhm.
and the rest of you guys head out and begin to walk down the city towards where the marshalling area and barracks are. We'll pick up there next time. I'm gonna say right now, just to prepare, Trev, get really familiar with the unarmed combat stuff and how that works.
Interesting.
Oh boy.
If he's training people, I guess. Yeah.
There will be a quiz at the end.
Just in terms of people prepping for, I don't. Am I the only one who can change out my spells, or is that also Aramil?
Aramil can
I
too.
mean,
I can also do
so
that.
can I, but
hard.
Well, yes. So can
way less useful.
Blue dragons are thunder magic,
yeah.
so don't have anything with or lightning. Sorry, right? Lightning.
Yes.
So don't use that. So don't pick spells using that
So don't do that.
because it'll have resistance.
Okay.
It will have more than resistance. I will tell you that right now.
Like I'm just like
Immune.
in story, Phaedra will eventually tell you that, but that's just for by the time we get to next time, just for spell prepping purposes.
Cool. All right. So we'll pick up next time.
Okay.